Man, that was good.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy JIM checking in with you guys, man. We were scheduled to go live at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're 3 minutes early. You know what I'm saying? So, what we're going to be speaking on today, we're just going to speak about pretty much everything in a nutshell, whether it's Democrat Party, this current political positions, everything, man. But before I go any further, let me go ahead and let the guests introduce themselves. Judge Joe Brown will be here shortly. But yeah, y'all go.
Guest, honorary guest. Come on now. Come on,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it's me. Oh, my bad. I didn't know what was going on. I ain't just want to jump in and all that. My Mikey Raw, man of the people,
You
man.
know, you always got to be courteous.
That's what I do. You know,
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, I am courteous. You know, I do have some courtesy, bones on my body and everything like that. Mikey Raw, man of the people, man, live from North Philadelphia, man. And, you know what I mean? That's what I'm here to talk about. My guy Jimmy, I've been known for years, man, here with Uncle Matt. And we're going to talk about a whole lot of shit. So let's get it popping.
Yeah. Hey, good evening, everyone. Old Uncle Matt here. Coming right out of San Antonio, Texas. All right, the Lone Star State. Glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, man. So, man, this week has been jam-packed this whole month, and this has been jam-packed, period. Since September, man. But one of the crazy things is going on right now. I'm not sure how many of y'all may have heard about this, but we can go ahead and start with Ice Cube. See, the situation with Ice Cube came out with something called the Contract for Black America during mid-COVID, probably around July or whatever it may have been. And he pretty much presented this to the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party said that they will discuss this after the election. And he presented it also to the Trump campaign, and they said they just changed some things up. Listen to Ice Cube, and now Ice Cube is getting backlash for the platinum plan. Where do y'all like? How do we get to that? I'm saying, what's the disconnect to some people when it comes to that? Like, why are people bashing Ice Cube like that, man?
Because the word that you said, Trump, Trump. Anything as far as involving Trump right now, we know how it go, man, with most of our people, man. 2 years ago, Ice Cube was a genius, right? 2 days ago, Ice Cube was a genius. One of the strongest black men in America, right? We love him. But as soon as he say, look, I want to do something for my people, what he do first? Just like you say, he take it to the hoop, the Democratic Party. What they tell him? Let's wait till after the election. Like they always tell black people, wait, I don't want to do nothing for you right now. Let's wait. Right. Exactly.
Right.
Vote for us, and then we'll see what happens. No. He goes to, you say the Trump campaign, Republican Party, however you want to say it, and they say, well, wait a minute. No, this is the same type time we on. So just like you said, they change a little things and say, look, let's propose this plan. So now Ice Cube is a coon. Now we got to cancel Ice Cube. Just like Kanye, just like Stacey Dash, the list goes on and on and on and on. And our community, in the black community, if we don't agree with you, we got to cancel you. We got to not talk to you no more, and you got to be a coon. I don't know, but that's just the way it goes.
And what's so funny is you made a real good point. Is if you go against the mainstream of what the flow of black people are going, then you're considered a coon. If you believe in something that the mainstream black folk are believing, if you go against that, then you're wrong. I push back against that. My mother and Jimmy's grandmother walked broad for striking for benefits at Temple University back in the day. Snow covered. I remember my mother leaving the house and getting a 1976 Nova. That's what we had. Drive up there and pick it and do her part. And to today, the Democratic Party in Philadelphia. I don't live in Philadelphia no more, but I was born and raised in West Philadelphia. And until the day, the Democrats fall short of taking care of that community that I came. So I don't care. Ice Cube went to the to the best opportunity for his people. And he still balk at that? You still balk at that? There's something wrong with you, my friend. Something's wrong with you. So you have a man who came from the hood. He came from the hood. And he self-made, went through his talents, and he exploited his talents to movies and entrepreneurship. And he says, look, I'm going to look back to help my folks behind me, and I'm going to go to the Democratic Party. Democratic Party turned their butts to Ice Cube, basically. He went to Trump. Hey, Trump, Republican Party, this is what I want to propose. Oh, let's negotiate. Let me look at what you got. We tweak it. That's fine. That's part of negotiation. Boom, there you go. Now he's a villain. You guys are on crack.
And some of them, most of them are on crack. That's the problem.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden. Don't get me started. Please don't get me. Jimmy, why do you got me started on that, man?
I don't know Bo, but Hunter is a crackhead who's dishonorably discharged.
Right.
What do you say? Hunter?
I don't know Bo, but Hunter's a crackhead who was dishonorably discharged.
Right.
I was telling Jimmy the last time, if the military kick you out because of drugs, you went in. I'm talking about straight smack, booger sugar, all the whole thing. Not a little bit of marijuana. I'm talking about you went full-fledged. And here's the deal. They usually try to rehab you, right? So they'll send you to a rehab center, right? A rehab program to try to retain you. And especially if your father or mother has a high visibility, maybe a dignitary or someone influential, they definitely gonna try to, keep you in and make you as a poster boy, a poster girl of rehabilitation. He was strung out, dude. He was a straight up crackhead.
Straight up. Facts are facts. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing, man. Make sure y'all hit this like button, share this. This is a red pill night. We going all the way red pill. We just exposing not just these candidates like Kamala Harris and Biden, let alone Kamala Harris is dropping out of the campaign, not dropping all the way out, but she won't be showing up in public because people in her campaign has coronavirus. So I guess she's not going to be debating anymore, any town halls or any of that type of stuff or whatnot. And even with the Ice Cube thing, man, everybody literally, this is crazy. Killer Mike too, because Killer Mike met with Brian Kemp, like the governor in Georgia. And there's a lot of people that are willing to, including myself. I'm pretty sure everybody on this platform right here don't mind meeting with somebody, they Democrat or Republican, if it has something to do with empowering us, just as Americans, Black people, whatever aspect that you may have or whatnot. But as soon as you do it, this is one of the crazy things is, as soon as you do it, even if you don't even got to stand out there and say that, oh, I support Trump, whatever. Listen, all you got to do is give this contract of Black people America that everybody there was talking about loving to death just last week or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Now you find out that the Trump administration seen that and moved on it, but the Democrats didn't. But now Ice Cube is the sellout. So it's a whole plot twist now. What we starting to realize is we're starting to reveal, like, I hate to use the word sellout and coons, but listen, the joke's on y'all now. It's proven and shown that you guys are the ones that's cooning and does not get nothing for your vote. One difference between people that, not just on the right, but just people that are at least not too partisan, is that they have the willingness to hear both sides and come to some type of compromise and do what is best for every American. We've proven that. We've seen people say RIPs when the people from the left pass away and they show all their condolences and respect. But when it comes to the right, an example, Herman Cain and some of the conservative voices that I know of that just passed these last couple of weeks, you know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna say the name. Look how they bash them. So we're in a heavy fight right now. So I don't know. Should we play fair?
Yeah. So I tell you one thing, you know, I you never want not talk to someone to, as long as they're giving you respect and dignity as a human being. If Ice Cube went to the White House and they gave him respect and dignity and heard his plan and says, okay, Ice Cube, Mr. Cube, this is what I think from your plan looks good. We just need to tweak this and that. And that's part of negotiation. That's part of a mature conversation. When you deal with your wife or your girlfriend or whatnot, and y'all have an issue, we have a disagreement, or we try, not even disagree, we're trying to work out an issue. There's going to be a give and take, a pull back and forth until you kind of settle into a happy medium. So that's what Ice Cube did. Now, the Democrats didn't give a damn. Oh, I see you after the election, my friend. Oh, why can't we commit to you now? Oh, Trump wants to commit on some stipulations, some agreement, and now I'm a fool. I'm a coon. Please, they grabbing.
Man.
It's a damn shame, but you know, we fall for it all the time. It's been going on for decades, man. The Democratic Party. That's why, look, in Philadelphia last year, right where I'm at in Philadelphia last year, for the preliminary, for the city council race and everything like that, it was about 34 people running on the Democratic Party for city council seats, because they know in Philadelphia, black people just go into the voting booths and vote all Democrat. Some of the politicians they never met. They don't know what their agenda is. They don't know what their views is on certain policies. But because they're on a Democratic ticket, they're just going to vote all Democrat. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, we're our own enemy when it comes to this. We're our worst enemy, should I say? Well, I'm gonna say we, but some of us, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like this whole COVID situation, the economy. I can't listen. I tell people all the time, look, if you're somebody, and I get people say, oh, people die for voting. Okay, I get that. But if you're somebody and you're still undecided whether you're voting for Biden and Trump, I'm not here to knock you or knock your head off. But if you are one of these people that had the time to sit there and call every Trump supporter or somebody that did not, like not even Trump supporters, because Ice Cube situation, he's not saying he's a supporter. He says nothing. He said nothing like Kanye did. But if you don't denounce Trump, if you just walk past the question, if someone just comes up to you, they ask Denzel Washington, which they tried to do, are you voting for Trump? Do you like Trump or not? And if you just walk and just ease out of that question, people are going to start trying to cancel you. And that's where we get to the point where now the culture in America has become cancer culture all across the board in politics, sports, everything. I had to see Shaq and get bashed because they had a different viewpoint on a social justice type of case. You know what I mean? And it's not just in like Philadelphia or Atlanta or urban cities. It's all across the board. Like this ain't just black folks that are messed up like this. There are also white people that are just, you know, they're at each other's necks over this coming election or whatnot. And truthfully, this is one of the craziest elections I've seen. You know what I mean? Not just being able to vote, and I'm talking about like the Al Gore election where I couldn't vote. I don't remember it being this crazy, man. I don't know. How about y'all?
You know, I think this time is a real unique time because it's like a perfect storm, because we have the COVID-19 that went on. Then we had the Floyd death, and now we have election all in the same year. This is one of the most unique situations I you know, as an adult, you know, a voting age adult. I've never seen something like this in my life. And what happens is, you know, it's like, to be honest with you, it's almost like people was looking to a reason to get out and act a fool. For me, you know, there's a difference between, protesting and being. You could be even aggressive in protesting. I'm not leaving this place. Come arrest me. That's an aggressive way of protesting. Or you walk the street or you march. That's a way of protesting. But I never seen it says it's almost like, great, I got an excuse to go out and act a fool and use the death of a African American man as the reason to act a fool and do whatever the hell I want to do. And that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You can't. I remember I was seeing this couple, African American couple, beautiful couple. They spent all their money. It was a retired police officer. Spent all his money to have a sports bar in the neighborhood, and they burnt his stuff to the ground. To the ground. And I'm gonna tell you something. Insurance won't replace everything. They replace a percentage. They're not gonna replace 100%. And so, explain to me how your way works. How your way works. I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. So go ahead, my friend.
Now, a lot of people have protesting confused with, just being ignorant and doing dumb shit. Because here's the deal. I've protested, people who know me know. I was, first to stand up when a black man was shot in his back in Philadelphia in 2017. His name was David Jones, right?
Yes.
But I seen those type of anarchists trying to come around and initiate themselves in my protest, trying to do shit that I didn't want to do. I'm not into burning buildings and tearing shit up. You understand what I mean? I don't want to go lay down.
You was like, what the hell you doing here?
Right. I don't want them around me.
Like, what you doing here? I didn't invite you. They didn't invite you. What the hell you doing here?
And I checked them and got them out of there. That's the difference. So that's why my movement, we had success because we wasn't into all the extra stuff. We just want justice for this man who was shot in his back. Now you got people in Philadelphia. I lived through it. We locked down because of the coronavirus, right? They saying we can't go to work, we can't go to school, we can't do nothing. But we can come protest. People can't go to church, they can't go pay their bills, but you could go protest. You can have 500, 600 people just tearing the city up. This was going on for about 2 weeks, y'all. Like tearing the city up, right? Tearing the city up because a black man was killed in Minnesota. No disrespect to his family, nothing like that. But I tell the people in Philadelphia, and I had to go down there and confront some of the protesters on the 3rd anniversary of David Jones being killed, which was June 8th, because I'm telling them, y'all not going to be in my city of Philadelphia saying justice for George Floyd, justice for Breonna Taylor, when I have families in Philadelphia who haven't got justice for their loved one who was killed by a Philadelphia cop. So y'all need to start saying their names as well. You're not going to come to Philadelphia saying Black Lives Matter and you screaming about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, but you ain't saying nothing about David Jones, Tyrese Carlisle. One of the cops that I was telling them about during that time just got arrested last Friday because he killed. He finally got arrested last Friday in Philadelphia, charged with the first-degree murder of Dennis Plowden Jr. Dennis Plowden Jr. was killed December 30th, 2017, but a lot of people don't talk about it. Why? Because it's not on CNN, right? The media can't make their thing into it. The media can't say, oh, look, this what happened. You don't have the Black Lives Matter people coming around in Philly. It ain't no Black Lives Matter. Just anybody who say they with Black Lives Matter, go make a social media page and say they with Black Lives Matter. Then all of a sudden, they this person who's speaking for Black Lives Matter. It's all a bunch of BS.
So I wonder, have some anarchists. I got some information that they're being funded by a radical socialist, and I'm not talking about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
I got information that these guys are being funded. They're being busted in and being additional agitators to these cities.
We directly know about this, specifically in Philadelphia. Like,
I've had direct contact with them. I approached them and all that at the protest when they try to come around with their mask on and doing all this nonsense. Like like most of the people don't even live in Philadelphia. You know, they come from the suburbs, they come from all around to come to the city to cause destruction. And you don't have people standing up to them for whatever reason. But I don't allow that. You know, if I can do something about it, I'm going to confront them every time.
Right.
So
and it's like some of these people we're talking about, like sometimes those names would be said. We get it. We're gonna say George Soros, and then there's other people. Their names will be said on mainstream media, and they will be protected by these outlets or whatnot.
that's who I was referring to.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, okay, he's a very rich, powerful white guy. Donald Trump was a powerful white guy before 2016. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody dang there liked them and all that. I wasn't too interested. I didn't know that much until, you know, this came. I mean, I knew who the guy was, of course, but I wasn't that much into it. But now everybody got into it, and he's got a whole nother just perspective from it. But what do you think the news is going to do now? If that this election should show people if this is an election for the people or not. This will let you know if mainstream media, iHeartRadio, all these, you know who I'm talking about. All those. This will let you know if they're for the people or propaganda and the cash that they get off of your pain. Because if Biden wins, you would think that you won something, but the mainstream media will feel. So if Trump does win, what is the mainstream media going to cover all damn day? It's nothing else to talk about. It's literally nothing to talk about. You know what I mean?
Well, what they're going to do, they're going to probably try to make up so that the election was interfered with through some type of foreign agency or some type of foreign country, just like they do. I mean, the indictment on President Trump, where did that go? It's disappeared. They spent all that tax money trying to burn his ass, and where'd it go? Nowhere. They were so confident they had him left and right. It went nowhere. So these guys with George Soros, he's if you look at him, he's a socialist. He wants to basically destroy, the fabric of America. Black Lives Matter wants to tear any part of the family. My friend Ike here, he talked about how his mother and his family went through the struggles to be on the other side. But those folks there, they want to tear. They rather for Ike to be in the street doing evil things. They don't want Ike to be front and center trying to promote his neighborhood, trying to put some light on police misconduct. They rather for, you know what they want you to Ike? They rather for you to be in the street, slinging,
right,
stealing. They rather for all three of us to be out this street doing whatever, tearing up stuff. But we're gonna push back on that.
Absolutely. That's what we need. We need more of us to start pushing back on that, because just like you say, that's what they want us to be doing, and be sitting in federal prison under the federal sentencing guidelines of the 1994 crime bill authored by Joe Biden. I was a victim of that. I was sentenced to 72 months in federal prison for sole possession of a firearm. You know what I mean? Because back then, if you're a convicted felon and you're in possession of a firearm because of Joe Biden, you go to federal prison. If you were in possession of, say, 3 grams of crack cocaine back then, you would get 20 years in prison, versus someone else who had, a powder substance of cocaine. And we know who they're trying to target, the black community. Because who would get caught with crack back then? Black people. Either we're selling it or either we're smoking crack, right? The white man wasn't getting caught with crack. The white man was, sniffing powder, snorting powder. Versus a brick of crack versus a brick of cocaine. The prison time, the difference was crazy. I still got friends in jail right now for less than 2 grams of crack cocaine that was sentenced to 25 years in prison, 30 years in prison for crack cocaine or for firearms and all this nonsense. But now Joe Biden is saying, well, I want to, if I win presidency, I'm going to get rid of the federal mandatory minimums. What do you mean? You're the one that authored this and put this into play. This was 27 years ago. You know what I mean? So a lot of
when he had hair on top of his head instead of plug.
Right. A lot of black men were taking out their home at the end of the day. A lot of homes are destroyed in the black community, and Joe Biden authored that bill. So we're not going to stand up here now and say, well, Trump got to go, we're going to vote for Biden. I tell people this all the time. Like, you got to do your research. You got to do your history. Don't just say, oh, Trump a racist, I hate Trump. Prove me. Show me where Trump is a racist at. You can never get anybody to show you any information. I have all type of information that shows you when Joe Biden was agreeing with, segregation and all this nonsense. We can pull it all up. He has a long history of doing, cruel shit to the black community. So we got to talk about all that.
Awesome.
Hey, Judge, we live.
Judge is in the house.
Judge in the building. What's up, Judge?
You got it.
What's going on, sir?
Well, just talking about stuff with some people. I just got off of another podcast a little earlier. It went over. We had technical problems. People were getting a little weirded out because Twitter was doing some strange things. They are saying that they're going to review people who said anything that was favorable to Trump, who looked like they were black, to determine if it was a black bot rather than a black person. So they decided to, this came off of a New York Post magazine article.
Yeah,
New York Post has been around for about a century and a half. It's a legit newspaper. And they were releasing some emails, and it shows Hunter Biden smoking a glass dick up in a bathtub and some other stuff. And it also basically kind of makes Biden Jr. and Sr. complicit in extortion and corruption. So Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram went around and tried to restrict the distribution to only those people who followed the New York Post. So this is a situation where a private monopoly, along with Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, over a common means of communication, can basically dictate how the First Amendment is exercised. And that is direct election interference. And that's what these SOBs were complaining about. The Russians were doing. It wasn't the Russians, it was them. So other thing is, for a while, about a couple of hours in there, couldn't anybody tweet. You just got told you can't. Sorry that, not. Anyway, it's slacked, but it's just, where the hell are we going? And then we were talking about Ice Cube's proposed contract, which good effort, but that's like, you want prison reform, jail reform, you call me or somebody like me who knows something about the subject. You don't call Ice Cube, who puts together this project. We've sent one up, nobody's paying attention. Good. Yet it's like, you got a problem with COVID-19, you call Dr. So-and-so, not Judge Joe Brown. You know what I'm saying? See, we don't deal with people who have expertise in something. We always call hip hop, basketball player, football player, hoe, porn queen, whatever it may be, slut, you name it. They're experts on the subject, but not the black folk that have actually had to deal with the subject. See how that works out? It's just not cool. But I appreciate the effort. But, I was discussing it, and we went over the points, and it's just like, good, but he left out the most important one. Oh, how about this one, and how about that one? That actually works. That wasn't even mentioned. So, good effort. And all of the rest of the color down on the plantation are hollering about one of the Negroes spoke out and he upset the master, and we can't have that on the plantation. So it's crazy. Young brother doesn't know much about criminal justice. I do, but he did say what he said. and all of the rest of the Negroes running around like the little robots going crazy. And what we got to learn is they used to have a joke back in the 60s. Tonto and the Lone Ranger were in a tight situation. And the Lone Ranger says, Tonto, we about to be put in jeopardy. And he turned around and said, boss, I don't know who the hell you talking about. That's my people, you know. And by the way, Isaiah Washington is doing something on an interesting gentleman.
Yeah.
You wear that little project?
Yeah, Isaiah, you talking about?
Washington.
Yeah.
There really was a Lone Ranger. And they got the idea from the Lone Ranger from these people that operated a radio station back in the 20s were talking about what the prison guards were saying at this bar or speakeasy they used to go to. And they were talking about Bass Reeves down in the Oklahoma Territory, who had put so many of these prisoners in that federal penitentiary up in Ohio. And Bass Reeves, operating in the Indian Territory, had to have an Indian going along with him who was a deputized Indian in the Indian Territory so that he could make the arrest on Indian Territory. So he had 3 Tontos, not one, and he was famous for disguises. So they changed that around to a white boy with a mask on with 1 Tonto going with him. But that whole Lone Ranger thing is about Bass Reeves. So Isaiah Washington is taping a show about that with the object of saying, look, black folk ain't powerless. Talking about police doing wrong. Black folk could be law too. Look how badass this guy was. But you got to get involved. So it's an interesting thing. He's been keeping me up to date on the project. By the way, you know John Wick? You ever watched that movie?
Yeah, definitely did.
Realistic gunplay. Isaiah Washington has been training with the same folks, so he sent me some video of him working with a 45. I said, go ahead, brother.
Oh,
he
wow.
got one in there where he's busting off a whole string, man, and he changes the magazine. He got another one in the gun before the first one hits the ground. I said, way to go. So he's been training, see. So we all need to train. Just with that, anyway, I don't know what I walked in on. I just got warmed up.
Let me go ahead and introduce you to IQ Raw from North Philadelphia. Y'all never met on this platform. You already know Uncle Matt here and myself. You know what I'm saying? We've been having some great shows, very informative. Ike, if you want to introduce yourself and talk to the judge, speak.
Brother, man of the people. Yeah, all right.
Definitely the man of the people, Judge. No Philly's own, man. You know what I mean? I'm just here with my guy, Jimmy. Been on him for a long time, man. And you know what I mean? I'm just sick of all the bullshit, too. So I'm just here to do my thing and see what's going on with the brothers. It's a pleasure to meet you tonight.
Well, mine too, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Right. Well, right now, I believe Twitter is actually still down after that Hunter Biden information came out that leaked. That's another crazy conspiracy.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I had said this to some people. I said, these Democratic fools ought to be careful what they're doing because there's a proverb, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Now, I've been dealing with criminal justice for a half century, all right? And the more I listen to those so-called impeachment proceedings, you know what? They ain't got crap on Trump. But they're building a damn good probable cause case for indictment against Hunter Biden and Joe Biden.
Yes, he did.
I said, man, damn, this is going to come back and haunt somebody. And
here we go.
Return articles of impeachment. But see, that was even stupid because Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution says the president, vice president, can, upon impeachment and conviction thereof, be removed from office for 1, bribery, 2, treason, and 3, high crimes or misdemeanors in office. So return articles of impeachment saying he abused his authority, but it's not that he didn't have it, he abused it, but that's not a crime. It's not a misdemeanor. It's not bribery. It is not treason. And then he obstructed the will of Congress. Hell, every damn time the president vetoes something, he's doing that. So that's not a crime. So you wasted all this time to come up with some BS talking about he did what he was entitled to do. So the Senate just did what in a court of law would be, Your Honor, defense moves for a dismissal on a directed verdict or on a summary judgment, taking everything that the other side says at face value. They do not establish a legal case to go forward. Granted, ain't high crimes or misdemeanors, it ain't treason, and it ain't bribery. So what you waste everybody's time for, and you stupid jerks, you laid out a damn good case to convict your presidential candidate. And it is no good, son. So, you know, the time when Hunter Biden got involved in all of this,
horrible.
The weird thing is that, see, the president, who at that time was Obama, was charged with doing this, but he delegated the authority to Biden, who was the vice president. Well, Biden's son got hired as a consultant after that to deal with what was going on over in the Ukraine. Now, the interesting thing is Hunter Biden was dishonorably discharged from the armed services 4 months before he got hired at this multi-million-dollar salary to go over there and use daddy's influence. What did he get discharged for dishonorably? For being a damn junkie.
Crackhead.
Crackhead.
Straight junkie. Crackhead. Vicious crackhead.
A crackhead in the military.
You have to be, I was telling the gentleman before you got on here, the military will do their best to rehab you, right?
Exactly.
Unless you are totally off the range. He was totally off the range. He was butt naked in the street, crackhead.
You got a crackhead, dishonorable discharge, 4 months later with no business experience nor acumen. He's making $2.5 million a year working for a company that's trying to wire up the Ukraine. And then Biden's ass himself got on C-SPAN. It was January, I think, 19th.
Yeah.
Or somewhere thereabouts, 2019. And I heard him. He said, I guess I committed extortion. I told him if they didn't get rid of the prosecutor, we were going to withhold $12 billion in loan guarantees. Ooh, wow, we whoopee. Now you open the case up and then somebody releases the emails that substantiate that. So what do you have? I mean, what is that? Attempting to manipulate an election so you can get that racist MF up in there. Segregation Joe, you know, that man's been an enemy of our people for a long time.
Long time, Judge.
And somebody said, how do you know that? I said, I heard him. Well, what are your resources? What the hell I need to give you a resource for? I'm the witness. I am the resource. Some other people heard that SOB. Running off in the late 60s, talking about Wallace and Strom Thurmond and Faubus and John B. Stennis. And they got 6,000 sailors on the John B. Stennis, and half of them are black, and they got to serve on board a nuclear aircraft carrier named after a racist son of a bitch. They ought to be rotting in a damn grave someplace instead of lauded with a first-class capital warship. That is a disgrace.
Straight bullshit.
And I mean, they campaigned for his ass. And then he was saying all in the late 60s, the Negroes are animals, and where they are turned into zoos and jungles. And he talked about schools, and he was anti-desegregation. By the way, I make a distinction between desegregation and integration. Integration is a choice. Segregation is, nigger, you better keep your ass the hell away from that damn water fountain, boy. Or if you ever watch Lovecraft Country, watch it sometimes. That's some real shit. 1955, it's in Chicago, and they do some traveling through the South. That thing about sundown counties and towns,
Mm.
they had billboards out in front of them. Ain't no niggers allowed up in here after sundown. And they would shoot folk. I remember that you had to travel at night. You couldn't travel in the day because it wasn't safe. So if you traveled at night and you went through a sundown county, if they saw you, they weren't trying to pull you over. They're going to shoot at you. And then if they got you, then they don't have to chase you. On two separate occasions, traveling with the parents, the old man had to get bullet holes patched in the car. I remember one time we were driving and they were shooting at him, but I guess they didn't get the lead on him because it's a moving car. And instead of hitting him, the bullet went through the left passenger seat door, went right over my damn lap, came out the other side. And I think I was
Man, that's
8 years
crazy. Like,
old. I mean, damn,
Biden,
it was dangerous traveling. And by the way, Lovecraft County, you like
yeah.
this. The black folk ain't no handkerchief heads. They shooting back.
Good.
Taking heads
I definitely get that.
and taking names. You got a
Right.
few
Now,
of
Biden,
that gay thing in there, but you know, they ain't the good guys.
Joe, I'm gonna ask you and everybody else on the panel, man, like with everything going on with the election that's coming up and everything. One topic that I've seen that people haven't been paying attention anymore is the sex trafficking and human trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's been going on for years. Look, there's one fine sister, me and another somebody groomed, all right? We knew her family. Beautiful. So she actually got admitted to Oxford University for a postgraduate thing in television and motion picture production and journalism, right? They admitted her. So she was doing a documentary on what was going down in Haiti. Well, she stumbled on a Catholic convent where the sisters in the convent had been taking young black girls in and selling them into slavery and running a whorehouse in the convent to raise money for Christ. So she started exposing it. We had to organize a little security crew to go down and free her. Fortunately, we did it just at the right moment. They captured her fine behind and was trying to sell her off into slavery until the boys we sent down there gangstered, kicked in the door, and shot a few people. So she's doing well and good now, but I mean, that sex trafficking just, hell, Obama's ass was in office.
Haiti is always Haiti. That doesn't surprise me about that kind of activity in Haiti. Haiti was has been a place where people just go down there and just run amok.
Well, there's a basis for that. This is white racism. In the 1923, Haiti was doing fine. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Decent place. The U.S. government sent the Marines down there, and they handpicked the Marines to be from Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, North, South Carolina, and such places. And they went down there and damn near terrorized these Haitians. And they gave them no redress until folk like Papa Doc came along, who otherwise was doing good, but he developed such a paranoid hatred for them that they switched over into that voodoo and foul crap. And that's when Haiti started becoming like it is right now. It's been a place where the U.S. Army and Marine Corps and Navy ran all kinds of experiments on drugs and stuff on people down there. Prisoner interrogation and all sorts of other things. You had Papa Doc Duvalier, which is a hell of a change from Toussaint Louverture, who got them free, leading the revolution against the French.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's hell now. Then they had Baby Doc, who was even sicker. He was a homosexual, and he just sat there and butt raped half the young boys he could get his hands on. It's a crazy place and all that voodoo. You know, I talked to Mama Nikki down on Bourbon Street. You know, she come in from Haiti. She told me about how you get the Bobby man, you know. She put big juju on you.
Shit crazy, man.
Man, we do some wrong, but see, we got to stop using that as an excuse. It's like we come from a place where they got tigers, crocodiles, leopards, jackals, hyenas, all kinds of other shit trying to eat us up for lunch. A baby or a child is a late night snack.
Yeah.
And we running around whining about white supremacy when, yeah, it exists, but damn it, it's just adversity. It ain't eating you for a meal.
That's
Might
like
try to kick your ass if you don't cooperate with them, but or psych your mind out so you mess yourself over. But damn, it's an opportunity to be a hero and get some frustration and aggression off your chest by kicking some racist ass. That's real good, by the way. That'll
Exactly.
release a lot of stress and frustration and tension, and you feel better, you know. The nookie comes easier, you know. You can smile a little bit. Oh, man, that baby, hell. You don't be stroking out of frustration. You be stroking out of having good time. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Jack
Man.
one of them up better than sex, man.
Well, where do we go from here? Like at this point, you know, with the polls the way it is, I have
Well,
my own
you're
think
doing
about.
it right now. It's called man up. You know what
Yeah,
a big problem is? You can take the slave off the plantation, but if you don't get the slave out of his soul, he's still a damn slave. You know?
yeah,
And your generations here, you've been victimized by glorification of dysfunction. See, it's like you put in somebody's mind a way of thinking about things, a dog whistle, and you guys hear this stuff, and it's like you respond to it. And anybody over 55, 60, we don't hear it. It's kind of a funny thing in some places in England in upscale housing developments. They play these tones continuously that nobody over 25 can hear. But they're very irritating to anybody under 25, so they don't have to worry about young folk going over there and trying to do that Clockwork Orange nonsense up in the place because they can't stand the sound. But anybody over 25 can't even hear. See, that's kind of like what's going on here. We can't hear it if you're over 55 or 60, but you guys hear it. So you got to put on some earmuffs, get that out your head, and learn to recognize what the hell that stuff is.
how was it?
Anybody like that movie Black Panther?
Black Panther. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready for Black Panther 2. I don't know what they're gonna
No,
do.
but okay, before you get to liking it, who was fighting who in that main battle scene?
With Killmonger.
No, the battle scene where they were going to war with all those strange animals, armor, and the white boy flying the virtual fighter plane. Who was fighting who?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
didn't pay attention, did you? They
No,
had the women of the tribe trying to kill off the men of the tribe, and the men of the tribe were trying to kill off the women of the tribe. Now, isn't that sick? And then who were the women's allies? They went and got some other brothers to help them out, which was treasonous. But where did they find them? Now, this is Africa, damn it. And the imagery is they're up in the mountains with snow on the ground, and the brothers they're going to get to help them are living off in caves. Now, just think about the imagery. This
mm-hmm.
advanced place 500 years in the future, technologically, they got to get a white boy in who's the only one that can pilot the virtual airplane because they ain't got no black folk. They got all these laboratories they let you see. There was only one man in one scene, and he was off in the distance pushing a cart. That free market they had, there were no men in charge. When they had that scene on the cliff face, all the black men except the high priest were up on the side of the mountain. The only brother they had in there was that fool with the lip plates in and that sherbet orange jacket and those fool green pants. You know, the mama was running the place, the aunt was the prime minister, and the king running around in some tights playing vigilante for some crazed out white boys. And then his so-called bodyguards walked in with him. He looked like a pimp with two hoes on his arm. And they weren't being his bodyguards. They were telling him what to do, nagging the hell out of him. Killmonger, actually, that's what Stan Lee had in the comic books. Killmonger was Black Panther. And the guy that thought like Black Panther was a drug dealer who was interfering with black folk in Africa and running a sex trade thing out of Africa. He was running girls on the side, like we were talking about earlier. But you see, they made Killmonger the villain this time, and they took what Stan Lee had the Black Panther saying about Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Huey P. Newton, W.E.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, and Frederick Douglass. They put those words in the villain so the young kids would associate the villain with what's righteous for their cause. Remember, Killmonger's daddy is the brother of the king at the time. And where do they stay? He's living in projects on the West Coast. He's training all these boys to be men who didn't have fathers. He's teaching them revolution. And that no good handkerchief head King Daddy of the current tight wearing little sissy that they had up in the latest Black Panther kills him. So Killmonger finishes MIT at 19 years old, is a brilliant rocket scientist, joins the SEALs, is so badass with killing, he becomes Killmonger. All right? He plots, plans revolution, down hard, cold brother who wants to take the technology, unify Africa, and then conquer the world and impose peace. So that's supposed to be the bad guy. See how they got you thinking where this is what you want to go? You rooting for the dude that is taking down the brother talking revolution and exercising of what? Black power for real.
Talk that shit, Josh. Talk to him.
And see, when he gets the kingship, what's going on is the bitches, and I say that because they didn't act like good women of the tribe. They feed him a super strength drug so he can overcome his challenger. And then when he takes on Killmonger, they give him the drug again, but Killmonger doesn't get it, but still whips his ass. So then they go back and redeem this dude, commit treason, go outside the tribe, violate their tribal rules of secession, and go get some outside cavemen to come in and help them kill their own men. Now, that's the plot line for that garbage. And the person they had play it, okay, let's examine him. They had the same guy play Thurgood Marshall. Looks nothing like Thurgood Marshall. They had him play James Brown. Doesn't look like James Brown. They had him play Jackie Robinson. Doesn't look a damn thing like Jackie Robinson. But why did they do that? Because Hollywood was trying to queer out black males because they wanted them to associate masculinity with this actor. But guess what really showed who he was about? Watch the movie Gods of Egypt. It's a fairly recent sci-fi fantasy. And they have the god of knowledge, the flaming gay god of knowledge, is the same person this Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown. See, so they get to associating this fluidity. You can be a scholar, an athlete, superhero, faggot. Oh, excuse me, that's for Bolton. One of challenged masculinity. And everybody is ideating on this.
I think what you made a really good point, Judge, where society want us to be neutered, want our men to be neutered.
Yeah.
And they promote that. You just laid out a fabulous case of how Hollywood and parts of the public want men to be neutered. And I push back against that.
By the way, you know why they push gangsta hip hop rap so thoroughly? See, they got a whole world's worth of young men that are getting neutered and emasculated. They look at young black men as the epitome of masculinity. gangster hip hop rap video. They got all these half naked babes bouncing around, looking like, yeah, the man's in charge, but actually it's their grandmothers, mamas, aunts, and friend girls of the above who are up there bouncing around. That's their June Cleaver. It's kind of sick, but it's what it is. So they want to effeminize black males. So when it comes across on the gangster hip hop thug thing, all of the kids in Tokyo, Berlin, Moscow, Beijing, Rio, you name it, Rome, Paris, London, Liverpool, uh, they think in terms of this feminized imagery. See, that's what they're doing. And now look at the rap artists. They got a microphone up like they're sucking on a dick, and they have on makeup, eyeshadow, and shit. It's like, check out the imagery. What are they doing? And then see, the other thing is to further down black folk and mess up the black family, because these folk are anti-family. I remember 50 some years ago at UCLA. I remember the class of 69 UCLA. They were running around talking about marriage is a form of slavery. So they wanted to destroy the institution of marriage, and black women on welfare were their role models, because they said black women on welfare are the only women in America that have their men under control.
Well, isn't that
So they were pushing that negativity.
Black Lives? Wait a minute, isn't that Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
Their message, and then some
Yeah.
of their message about destroying the family,
Yeah.
neutering men.
Destroying the
Isn't
traditional
that part?
European nuclear family. Destroying the traditional European nuclear family. That's the same model as an African family, a Chinese family, a Brazilian family. That's the same thing as a German family. It's the human family. What the hell's going on here?
And it's so embarrassing that these folks, who's not even African American, who's putting in this stuff, putting in their bylaws or their message on paper, and then they take it down.
Oh yeah. Well, see here, check this out. You got a acknowledged hoe, a street walking prostitute, Cardi B, who used to talk about how she robbed her tricks, and all of a sudden that becomes spokeswoman for blackness. Dumb bitch need to go find her old pimp, who's probably some simp she married just to have somebody that she's masquerading off of. So that becomes somebody you go to talk about prison reform. Hey, I guess if she'd been in jail, she knows about prison. That's who you go to talk about black economic reform. Like the economic model for black folk is supposed to be a hoe trying to escape from a pimp. Oh, hell no.
Say she got that
Not
wop,
even escape from a pimp, where the hoe became a pimp. See, I represented a whole lot of hoes and pimps 45 years ago when I was in Memphis. And they paid a lot of rent checks, secretary's fees, and research fees, and a lot of my bills. And there was some women that were some badass pimps. One of them was married to Ike Turner, and he saved her ass. Let me tell you what they did with that.
Talk that shit, Josh.
I grew up in L.A.
You talk about
wait
a minute. Judge, you always, every time you come on the show, he'll say something and just go right past it. Just like with Al Sharpton and James Brown. Then he gonna talk about
James Brown. Well, let me tell you about that. Okay.
Let me get
everybody on my generation that grew up in Los Angeles knows Ike Turner. Ike Turner and Tina had Rolls Royces. Ike used to drive around with one of his homeboys driving the car. And anytime he saw a bunch of us, and this from when I was in elementary school all the way up to high school, he'd stop. And he'd get to talking to us about staying in school, doing your books, getting your head together because your mind was most important. Don't do drugs, stay out of jail, protect your neighborhood, don't try to tear it down. He'd go get his homeboy to go get hamburgers, fries, and Cokes for all of us. He'd stay there for 2 hours talking to us. Okay, now he and Tina kind of had matching Rolls Royces. If you made a mistake and couldn't make out who it was behind the tinted windows, and you waved and it was Tina, she'd roll the windows out. You little black ass MF so and so. Who gave you permission, you little MF, to talk to me? I get out and kick the blah blah blah. That pimp shit on you, you know. So we all knew who the violent one was and who the one was that took care of the people. We've all seen Tina haul off and hit Ike with a rake, throw something at him, hit him with a bottle. And that violent heifer was known by the super pimps in Memphis when I was representing him as somebody that pop a cap on your ass if you look cross-eyed at her. I had one woman I represented, old hoe. She couldn't even walk because somebody had drug her behind a Cadillac and ground off one of her kneecaps. You know who her pimp was? She claimed it was Tina.
So Tina was behind all the
yes. I can't look what happened. There is a place called the Paradise Club in Memphis. It's open back up, kind of trashy now because it needs to be renovated. It seated 5,000 people. Now, Tina was performing in there just off of a lark. She supposedly shoved some chick off the stage and said she was getting up on the mic. And Ike was in there and discovered her behind and tried to work on it. See, they're both from the Memphis area.
Yeah, I knew that.
So, you know, it's like she wasn't but 17 years old and she was running a whole, crew. She even had her bottom hoe, damn. So it's like Ike saved her. Now, 2 times before he died, he was in front of me doing arbitration. You know what he was there for? He and his current wife had a foundation where they would give money to women who were getting abused. And if they got away from the guy that was abusing them, it became a gift. If they went back, it was a loan. So nobody wants to deal with that. Now, I wound up talking to him after the show was at air. This place called Spago's in Beverly Hills. We were sitting down. He said, man, Judge. So I told him where I remember. You remember that? I said, yeah. You and your homeboy buying I said, you must talk to me 8 or 9 or 10 times. You know, we all loved you. So you were our role model on how to get it together. Not because you were doing music, just because you acted like a man and you were telling us to be men. Protect your home and women and everything else. And we admired you. He said, Judge, I did not know they were going to do that to me. I signed that release. I didn't have no hard feelings on that woman. She had difficulties. You telling me that. So I didn't know they were going to badmouth me like that. I said, well, brother, the truth of the matter is known to many young black men. And I promise you, whenever somebody asks me about it, because of what you did to help me stay straight and not off in jail or doing something stupid in South Central LA, not Crenshaw like they say on the bio to the show, but out there on Normandy past Lawson. Yeah, I'll tell you a story any chance I get. I promise you that. And that's what I'm doing. Your brother deserves better than what they did to him. He was a good man. He saved a whole lot of black folk. Some of my age, I said, man, like I was wondering about you, man. I haven't seen you for years. Yeah, man. You know what helped me? I said, what? You remember how Ike used to stop and talk to us? I said, yeah, man, that brother saved my ass from, going the wrong way. But, I'm a success, retired now because I Ike. Talked to a whole lot of brothers like that, man. We owe that man. And they make one of our real heroes a villain.
Because they sure did portray Ike as a drug head, wife beater, a rapist.
That broad was a psycho, man. The last time I came in proximity to her, I was in college. And I was standing in line at a place called Boys Market on Crenshaw, right over near the railroad tracks. And there were 3 or 4 little cute young sisters that were at Dorsey High from the T-shirts they had on, or sweatshirts, I forgot which. And Tina was right in front of them. She's a little bitty old chick, about 5 feet tall.
Tina?
And they were saying, oh, is Tina Turner? Oh my God, it is. I know what it can't be.
Singer.
It's Tina Turner. So one of them had the nerve to say, Miss Turner, man, and she said, bitch, I give you permission to talk to me. I
Damn.
slap the sweat off your ugly ass. You open your mouth to me without my permission.
She said it like that, Judge?
Yeah, that's the way she rolled.
Damn.
I mean, I don't like this word, so I'm just quoting her. But one time, me and two homeboys were walking by, and we thought it was Ike. She said, you little pickaninny bitch-ass black motherfuckers. I kick your nigga ass, run you over, all of you. Don't you talk to me without my permission. Damn. That's how she used to do.
Well, you know, I knew she was gritty, but damn.
I mean, this chick, I saw her. Look, there
I
was,
knew she was
some
gritty.
family
No,
friends
I
that
knew
lived
she
up
was
in
gritty
Baltimore.
'cause I read some stuff on it. I knew she was gritty, but I didn't know she was like that.
Oh man, they lived up in Baldwin Hills, right above what is now known as the jungle. All right. I was visiting some folk. I guess they were family friends. They had a barbecue, and it was me and some other guys. We played ball at not UCLA then, at Dorsey High football. So we were throwing a ball around. I said, man, is that Ike Turner? Yeah, that's Ike. He was about 4 houses down. He was down on his knees gardening, right, with a trowel. So he got up, took his gloves off, dusted his hands off, came over, shook everybody's hand, asked us how the team was doing, told us again to stay in school, stay straight, get your mind together. Went back. Tina came storming out the back door, man, acting a fool, cussing him out. We thought maybe she caught him running around. What she was hollering about is he hadn't finished up this song to her satisfaction. He had said, baby, I got a mind, I got writer's block. That's why I'm doing this, to get him. She got to calling him all out, his name, everything, and just acted a fool. And he said, baby, there's some young folk listening. Damn them little MFs and all blah, blah, blah. So she went back in. Man, 10 minutes later, she came out cussing again. She picked up one of these, these heavy rakes with the shaped handle and the wrought iron heads that look like a comb. She picked that up, fortunately, by the head, hauled all the way back. Looked like she hit him across his back hard as she could. Bam! I said, damn, he must have liked that brother. I said, baby, damn, she hit him again. Then she ran off in the house. And he got up, and I know that was hurt. He had to shrug that off, went off in the house. That's how, that woman's psycho. And they make her look like she a victim.
And well,
Hey,
she's
Judge,
married. Look,
I
she's
got
married to a type of European. She's over there in Europe somewhere, married to a European guy now.
right.
Yeah, she done renounced her citizenship. They got all the money. She wound up with all of it. He dead now, but he kept her from
He
being.
dead? The guy?
Yeah, Ike's dead. He's
Yeah,
been
Ike
dead
dead.
for 10 years.
No,
Yeah.
but
Hey, Judge, I got a question. Someone in the chat room is asking a question right now.
yes.
They want to know from Citizen Man, can businesses deny service for not wearing a mask? As you being
Yeah, they sure can.
Yes,
can they set for a policy outside of the law?
Yeah, sure can. It's not outside the law. You can control what happens. You can throw anybody out of your business so long as it's not for race, color, creed, nationality, sex, or condition of disability. And by the way, the preamble to the whole U.S. constitutional thing says for public health, safety, and welfare. And see, governments have always been able to deal with health. And what everybody does not seem to be aware of now is, what they used to do when there was an epidemic? They'd quarantine your ass.
Yeah.
Better not walk outside. And then they used to have leper colonies. They would put you off in a leper colony, didn't ask you, you can't leave. So for public health purposes, yeah, they can do that. So, I mean, you can comply or not comply, but this shit's dangerous. They undercount. They got 250,000 people that are dead. I mean, even if it occurred in somebody's military bio lab, what do soldiers do when the enemy's got a biological warfare weapon? They wear protective clothing and a mask. So
Yeah,
you
hazmat
believe
suits and all
somebody
that.
invented this shit in the laboratory? You think because you won't wear a mask, they're gonna give you a vaccine or an antibody or a treatment for shit if they're trying to kill you. And the thing about the mask, it doesn't even protect you. What the mask is about is protecting others. You know, when you sneeze, you cover your mouth, cough, you cover your mouth. You don't spit on the sidewalk. That's what the mask is for. See, the death rate and the infection rate in a lot of places is low. Let's take China. In China, they tell you to do something, you don't do it, you disappear. They put your ass on the wall and the firing squad eliminates the problem.
Quick.
You just disappeared.
Quick.
Disappeared. What happened to young Sean? What happened to young Sean? Young Sean disappeared.
He died, man.
What happened to young Sean?
They don't play that shit.
It's not complied with the regulations. Got to name.
What happened to young?
Yeah. Oh.
Young son no here. Young son no here.
Young Sean is gone. Young Sean gone.
Boom, boom, boom. You know, let the liquidations begin.
Hey, young Sean's gone.
The young son no here no more. Can't find you.
No more.
Not seeing him in 2 weeks.
You go down to Mexico, man. We used to go to Mexico all the time back in the 60s. And see, when you got across the border, they didn't play shit with your ass if you ain't in someplace like Tijuana, you know. And the first thing you did is you find Officer Carlos. Who's Officer Carlos? First Mexican cop you come up to. You hand him $50 and he hands you a note saying you made a donation to the fund, and he signs Officer Carlos. They stop you later. Yes, senor. It's, oh, man, we've been talking to Officer Carlos, man. You give us a pass. Let me see the pass from Officer Carlos. Ah, you talk to Officer Carlos. Ah, it's bueno, yes. You know, enjoy yourself. And see, you know, the biggest ethnicity in the country is going to be Latinos in a few years. Gay folk want them called Latinx. They say the hell with that. That's Latino and Latina. But you see, Puerto Rico, I know one fine ass sister. She's a former model, got a good head on her shoulders. She's a comedian. Now, if you look at her 11 or 12 brothers and sisters, they range from looking straight out of Africa to blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and all of them got the same mom and daddy. And they get, they're Latinos, you know why? Es, señor. No habla español muy bien, but comprende mucho. Eva toman. Holmes, you know, and like, you all right. You get into Harlem, you ever heard that old song, There Is a Rose in Spanish Harlem? What you think that's about? They're talking about Spanish Harlem is where the Puerto Ricans hung out in Harlem. Now it's just a region they've all mixed up. See that animated thing on Spider-Man where the young Spider-Man is a black kid? His daddy's a cop, his uncle's the villain. They're Puerto Rican. They got Spanish surnames, but they come across as black folk. So blacks and, see, all you have to do is be able to hablar español, comprende mucho, and come across that way, you become part of the crowd. It ain't white, black, brown, red, yellow. In the 5th grade in Los Angeles, I had some woman, Miss Rodriguez. She's blonde-haired, blue-eyed. And we used to in 4th grade, rather, have to go over mestizos, mulattoes, and all this other crap in originales and, you know, hispanolas and all this other stuff. Well, you know, my husband and I, we are white Spaniards and all that. Racist. Hell, I knew that back when I was in the 4th grade. What the hell are you telling me all this for? I don't really give a damn. It's fascinating. But, you know, and Eisenhower is officially declared us to be Caucasian. But you see, all you got to do is habla español. But it's gotten funny. I went to a municipal meeting. Some brother that I hadn't seen in a long time took me to this place. It's in part of California. And usually it was white folk business, but this time it was different. Hey, senor, from the barrio, the chair recognizes you. Mr. Chairman, We got the problem, man. You know, we not getting the benefits, man. And I'm going, damn, ain't this a change? To see California is now 54% Latino. So, you know, it makes a difference. And what's happening to make California look so crazy is these freakish white folk that have that San Francisco disposition where Nancy Pelosi and come Queen Harris are from, you know, they're trying to put stuff in place before they get knocked out by this 54% majority in California.
Well, you know, we were just talking about how San Francisco is a dumpster fire. How their homeless population is basically. Jimmy was just talking about how they can just defecate on the street, urinate on
man,
the
it's filthy.
The homeless people, you could be walking down the street with your lady, and the next thing you know, one of these homeless men or women will try to attack you. You know?
Well, you know, in a
great.
big city, you got to worry about stepping on dog shit. In San Francisco is people shit.
Yeah. What the
I heard
ain't
someone.
lying. My ex-wife was from San Francisco, you know, so I got up there to visit the in-laws. That's a mess.
Man.
It's a hot mess.
A real live mess.
San Francisco used to, I mean, I remember going over there to some military training, and we had some time off on the weekend, and we was like, hey man, let's go to San Francisco. It was beautiful back, even as late as like maybe the early 2000s. Now it's an armpit.
Man, look here. You know over there where they got the Ghirardelli chocolate factory in San Francisco? My wife wanted to go off in that place one time. We were there. And I came out and I had to do a double take to keep from stepping in some shit right out front of the doorway. Where somebody pulled his pants down and shit in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yes.
That's what I mean. That's my now permanent impression of San Francisco. And I think
they will pull the homeless people will pull down their drawers and crap right there on the street.
Let me tell you what this motherfucker get ready to do, but what scared me, look, that senile somebody wants to make his mark on history badly. So what he's going to do if he got elected was after a year or two, he would resign. Kamala Harris would become president, and under the operation of the 20th Amendment, Nancy Pelosi would be vice president. And all I can think of is two of these heifers from a place where I had to avoid people shit in the middle of the sidewalk out in front of a busy chocolate factory where they had a candy store outlet. Ain't that a bitch? You know, what is this country coming to?
Yeah.
They got a fake Negro and a bigot buffoon, and that's the choice you got for president, vice president.
Do you think some of these activists out here, like the Al Sharptons of the world, from your own experience that you may have had with them, like the Al Sharptons or any of those
Al Sharpton, I ain't got any respect for him. You know how he got discovered? James Brown insisted that Don Cornelius on the Soul Train show let Al Sharpton preach. Now, this is Soul Train.
What?
Yeah, I just happened to know somebody was a client of mine who was Cornelius's business manager. And let's just say that Al Sharpton was James Brown's 15-year-old butt stuff. Which is why, way after it got put in the early modern history wing of the Smithsonian Institution, that fool was running around with gassed hair.
So, Judge, can you kind of dig a little bit deeper between the? Can you dig a little bit deeper between James Brown and Al Sharpton? What was the real deal with those two?
Like I said, looked like Al Sharpton from some people that caught him off in a bathroom one time was saying, it would be butt buddies, except one of them was still in that mess with them and you dealing with pedophile stuff. So, I don't know. James Brown did some penitentiary time one time. Maybe he picked up some taste that time. I don't know. That's allegedly.
God damn.
Man, it's cold-blooded when you get into these folk.
The Godfather's soul?
Hey,
He
Damn.
had moves, but I saw a concert he was in. He was excellent, perfectionist. But let me tell you something. You see, everybody's heard of the civil rights movement, right? A whole lot of black folk wouldn't have anything to do with the civil rights movement. A lot of men had been in World War I, II, and Korea. And they said, I ain't getting down on my knees praying to Jesus with some redneck beating me across my head until another damn redneck feels guilty about it. Screw that shit. Motherfucker raised his hand to me. He ain't coming back with an arm.
Right.
And I can't deal with all these nonviolent folk. And then the other thing was, I remember this little beer drinking fit my old man had with some of his homeboys. And what do you mean, Dad, that you guys can't? They one guy said, where's my hand? Said, it's kind of, you do that thing where it's like that, that signal. Said, Dad, what does that mean? Well, when you get older, I'll explain. So I won't forget this. I was like in the maybe 9th grade, 10th grade. And I'm sitting there at the table doing homework. My old man dropped the second section of the Times in front of me. It said, read that. That's what we're talking about. So what happened is the article said Bayard Rustin got caught in the back seat of a car with one white person sodomizing him while he was performing fellatio on a second white person. That was the article. And now the LGBT are just trying to get the governor to posthumously pardon Bayard Rustin for that. But see, it was just misdemeanor stuff, but hell, that ain't right. All of the straight folk that got caught in the backseat of a car screwing their girlfriends, they got charges. I had to talk their way out of the police doing it. Girl would flash their tits at some of the LAPD type and weren't gay LA cops. You got off. Baby, show them your tits. Okay. Yeah. All right. You can go on and go. That's the way it was. So now they want to pardon him because he's getting butt busted and giving up some head. Same time.
Do you have any stories with Kamala Harris and Willie Brown?
Oh, yeah. The Times covered that for 30 years. Let's start off with her when she was in her early mid-20s. She was screwing Willie Brown. Willie Brown got her a job with a medical firm that was associated with the city. She's working 15 hours a week. Now, understand this 30-something years ago. She was getting paid $72,000 a year for a 15-hour-a-week job.
Wait a minute.
Then she went up to 20 hours a week and it went up to
120 hours a week
a year.
Today.
Yeah, 120-some thousand a year for 20 hours a week. Before that, $72K a year for 15 hours. And the Times ran articles on it.
Wait a minute.
Check this out. Allegedly, what happened was when she got out, she wanted to go with this big firm. So she couldn't get hired, so she started screwing, allegedly, their number one client who was an NBA player. Then they hired her. Then they covered this. She tried to apply to the DA's office. Allegedly, she couldn't get hired by the DA's office until she started screwing the assistant director. I mean, I guess what she was doing, Willie, you nice baby. And we'll do on page 27 of the Kama Sutra what's in the middle. And if you're real nice, after that, we'll follow up with page 99 at the top and 110 at the bottom. The Kama Sutra got all these pictures in there.
So she was the one who was screwing Willie Brown.
Yes.
Oh, man.
They got one that is so cold. I remember that one. It was an editorial cartoon. It was talking about corruption in government. They got Willie Brown sitting behind a desk with his tongue hung out, and Camilla down there on her knees behind the desk, and Willie grinning.
Damn.
Hey.
She just came up for air, you know. Allegedly.
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 Okay, then it gets worse.
Allegedly.
Okay, let's talk about serious business. I had some neighbors who got jacked up on this. They had mortgages that One West Bank acquired, and there were some fraudulent foreclosures. They lost their property, all right? Well, San Diego County, LA County, Orange County, San Joaquin Valley, Sacramento counties, they returned 5,200 plus counts of indictment against Munchin and One West Bank, whose major investor was Soros. So Soros funneled $14 million through one of Camilla's assistants to assist her in her campaign for state senator, and also prior to that for state attorney general for re-election, changed over to senator. Munchin and his wife each donated $10,000 apiece twice for her election campaign stuff. And under a quirk of California law, what she did was consolidated all of the indictments and had them dismissed. And then Soros sold One West Bank for $3.4 billion in 2016. And see, all of these people, about 10, 12,000 folk lost their homes from this fraud, and she cut them loose. See, that kind of thing was rampant. There is something I'd never heard of. There was one guy who was on trial for murdering 5 people, right? The families wanted blood. Kamala Harris got her ass involved and there, was trying to play politics with it. All 5 families wrote letters in support of the defendant who wanted to confess to the killing. They said, let the man take the life sentence. Why are you sitting around trying to play politics with this and dragging this on so all of these families are suffering? Now, she had a write-up by the Justice Department for having the stiffest recommendations for simple possession of marijuana in the United States at one point, but it was only for black defendants. Now, this is damn San Francisco. Hell, everybody's smoking weed in San Fran. And then she wants to compound it by this bullshit lie. Says she was 18 in the dorms. She's born in 1964, same year my wife was born in, right? Ex-wife. She wants to say when she was 18, living up in the dorms, she was smoking herb and listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Now, that would have made Tupac about 6, 7 years old. And Snoop Dogg would have been, what, 13 or 14. So, I mean, the brothers are good, but, you know, they ain't that damn precocious. There's some off-brand slut up in a dormitory in San Francisco is going to be, well, Howard, excuse me, is going to be able to hear them on, and she says on DVD. They didn't even have DVDs then. The Chinese hadn't invented them. So, you know, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, how you know Juicy? You ever heard of Juicy?
I've heard.
Juicy Smollett?
Yeah, Juicy Jesse, I call him.
Well, what you call him, Josh?
Juicy Jesse. See, his name is Julian. That's his given name, Smollett. So for his performing name, he picked Jesse, but it's spelled in French, and when you pronounce it American English, it's Juicy. So Juicy Jesse did what he did. Now, here's the other thing. By marriage, Kamala Harris is his aunt. And there are pictures of him standing less than 5 feet away from Kamala Harris the same day or earlier in that 24-hour period when that incident occurred. I interviewed some Chicago cops, and they've got that on video from a costume shop, Halloween week. They've got Juicy going in there with those, one of the Nigerians buying that very noose a couple of days before Halloween at a costume shop. So there is this thing called the Equality Act that Conyers introduced in 1997 that had been tabled and tabled and tabled. Come Queen Harris and House Negro Booker, Cory Booker, brought it back up. It got tabled again. So after Juicy Jesse staged the fake lynching, they reintroduced the bill that got it brought out after they recaptioned it as the anti-lynch bill. Now, it got passed on a voice vote with no debate at that point, and I've read the whole damn thing. It doesn't mention lynching one damn time in there. What it does is it adds a lot of language that would legitimize pedophilia and pedophiles doing what they do. Unfortunately, the Republicans in the Senate have held the damn thing up. It's poison. It does not do a damn thing for black folk, but it makes a special category of people for constitutional protection because they like to get butt fucked, or they got dicks, or they got pussies and like to eat pussy. You know, I mean, think about it. We're gonna have a special category for babes that like to do it reverse cowgirl style, or you like the missionary position, so you should have constitutional rights because not to practice that shit, but because of that shit. Special category. That's the sickest crap in the world. And then see, American law sometimes these days does not get the long-term effects. Now, there were some cases that said they had to admit openly gay, pedophile tending folk into the Boy Scouts is scout leaders. Now, everybody's seen these commercials, all these lawyers trying to do this ambulance chasing and get these lucrative cases to help somebody settle for getting molested by the Boy Scout leaders that everybody was saying we can't let in. See, they're going bankrupt to settle these cases. See, those are the long-term consequences. They got these drag queens reading to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds so they can be conditioned to this shit being normal.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what anybody does in their bedrooms. That's their damn business. But just like if you walk down the street in a parade with your dick hung out, they'd have your ass up under the jail. If you running around trying to get your woman out there half naked, butt shaking, out on the sidewalk with her titties out, she'd be in jail too. But if you got a gay pride parade, it's okay.
Right.
If you got a gay pride lame, it's okay to do it in front of kids. And everybody else, what's it say? 21 and above, you know, inside the club. So, I mean, what happened here?
Well, what's going to happen?
It's
like,
crazy.
What's going to happen when, like, the NBA, they're not going to be able to talk about social justice issues, and the mainstream media is not going to be able to talk about politics as much? Like,
well, there is this thing about the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. First Amendment doesn't say crap about whether you hurt somebody's feelings. It's you cannot suppress free speech of any sort unless it's something like, well, yelling fire, falsely yelling fire in a crowded theater. If somebody gets offended, they have a civil remedy called defamation of character. But defamation of character has the absolute defense of truth. So now they want to say, well, we don't think this is valid or appropriate story, which ain't their damn business. So we will block it and suppress it. And we don't want any of our little delicate flowers feeling uncomfortable because somebody hurt them, hurt their feelings. And what is it? Oh my God, he killed himself after they bullied him online. If you that damn weak, kill your damn fool self. When I was in elementary school, junior high, and high school, we used to run the dozens, man. Hey, man, I don't say nothing, man. But when I was over at your mama's house last night, man, keeping her company while your daddy was at work, man. Please don't tell him I was stroking for him, man. I was just trying to fill in, man. Man, I don't want to say nothing, man. Your mama, she be stinking, man. She's so fat she can't get in the bathtub, but with 2 splashes of water. That's why she can't wash her funky ass off and smell so bad. So we used to do that for a hobby. And these folk, oh, mother, daddy, blah, 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 blah. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, see how they're trying to punk the country out? Get you to think that's wrong. I mean, comedians used to be funny because they'd get down on people. They're running around, you know, they used to arrest comedians back in the early 60s for saying motherfucker, you know, and they'd get busted. You can say that now all day long in the N-word, but you let them say faggot or, you know, gay motherfucker, you know, a punk ass, and, you know, oh my God, it's a hate crime. One good friend, fine, I won't mention her name. She was a singer, fine. She was the Beyonce of my day. And we dated on and off for about 8 years. So she got a son, a nice kid, 42 years old. What's that?
Drop a name, Judge. Drop the name.
No, I mean, not in this context. You'll see why.
Okay.
So it's not her. It's just I don't want to provide embarrassment to her son, because what happened, the young man was in his 40s. He bought this house, right? And he discovered he had some gay neighbors, and they wanted him to put a gay pride flag in front of his house. He said, hell no. So they started bringing their dogs by to deliberately have them shit in his front yard. So he got the video in this shit. So he caught some on camera who walked their dog up into the middle of his yard. The dog took a shit. They didn't pick it up as per LA County ordinance. And he yelled out the window, man, what the hell's going on? What you doing with your dog? And they called him the N-word and MF and N-word this. And he recorded it, and he called him faggot. So they complained about hate speech and hate crimes, and he got prosecuted. He went to trial. He got found guilty, got 30 days suspended, 1129, 250 hours of community service, and a $2,500 fine. And that tape with all of this recorded on there is played. No matter about them calling him the N-word, calling him all out his name, but he said faggot in there, and that's a hate crime. No mention of the fact they clearly showing them deliberately taking a dog up there to shit in the middle of his yard. See, that's why I don't want to reveal the name, because I don't think the young man wants it known what happened. But you see, that's the kind of crap that goes on. Bullshit. So, I mean, it's like, where are we going with this shit? Excuse my language. I grew up where I grew up. And, you know, I can speak the King's English quite well. And we can be proper. And, Your Honor, if it pleases the court, there is a dichotomy here that we have to balance out with looking at the justice issues. So, you know, we can do that. Or, hey, man, fuck you, you know. You know, that's just like,
I like
it is what it is.
Judge, I like the balance. I like you both ways. I like it both ways. As long as you can do both ways, I like it. I like it. So
there's a question around that just going around now, like this last couple of weeks, and it's kind of deep. I mean, it has to do with reparations. And the question is, do you believe America, if it was possible, America owes it, or does Africa owe it?
Well, let's put it this way, both. But here's the problem. What you get is directly proportionate to the apparent power that you have, or the demonstration of masculinity as a culture. I had an old white chancellor in the 70s say, so what did you "Oh, you're brown? Problem with black people is they don't fight for themselves. He say, you fight for us, but you don't fight for yourself. He say they name trains and places after engines, but not after black folk, unless it's Martin Luther King Boulevard or Booker T. Washington High School. And both of them was peaceful Negroes. He said, but I was in the Battle of the Bulls and I got shot in my ass twice by some goddamn Nazi Krauts. He said, my brother got shot 3 times in Iwo Jima by some Japs. He said, but I'll be damned if there ain't a goddamn Toyota parked in my driveway in a Mercedes Benz. And my daughter got a BMW. So we got German cars sitting up there, and we got Japanese cars sitting up there, and my wife got a taste for damn sushi. And we went over to visit Tokyo, and they eating hot dogs playing baseball. See, but there's men. We used to call them little old bow-legged, bespectacled, little bitty bucktooth cartoon characters. Until my brother said, them little motherfuckers had one of them bonsai charges on his ass. And then he saw them kamikazes jacking up the Fifth Fleet off of Okinawa. You know, goddamn. He said, them some bad suckers, and everybody respect them. He said, and them Germans be goose stepping, man. He said, hell, and they bad. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect them. He said, but you black folk ain't got nobody to respect, because Africa, they ain't fought nobody. He said, now there's some one group of folk, but they ain't your ancestors. They down in South Africa. They known as the Zulu. And what is it? Whiskey, X-ray, Yankee, Zulu. You know, ain't nobody else, black or African, got a distinction. But everybody knows Zulu. Borkum's Riff is Sandalwana. You know, Chetsuwelu, Ixwa, you know, the Yasaki that Shaka Zulu invented. You know, hell, I talked to 2 fine young men. One went to UCLA grad school. The other one went to USC grad school. One was His Royal Highness, and the other one was His Highness. His Royal Highness is next in line for the Zulu throne, and His Highness is his brother who's going to be prime minister. Now, most of these young men have each killed their lions with a wooden spear with no iron head on it when they were 13 years old, and the elders witnessed it, gave them a tougher test than most because they were in line for the kingship. So Daddy said he's going to advocate when they both get their PhDs. So they got one final challenge. One of them gets to pick the weapon first. There will be an iron-tipped spear and a steel sword. The king-to-be picks which one he wants. His brother gets to pick the next one. And the 2 of them got to kill the Cape buffalo, which is the hardest animal on the planet to kill. And if something happens to the king-to-be, summary execution comes down on his brother, so he can't fake it. So see, these brothers have got studied thing. They want to do some stuff to get black folk all throughout Africa because they've got the money and the position from the gambling. It's like Monte Carlo down there in Swaziland. And they want to start dealing with a televised propaganda campaign to get black folk in Africa to get their heads on straight, to let them understand there is a villain, but their villain is Oppenheimer de Beers that's actually doing all of what we've been calling tribal warfare to cover up for the fact that they're killing folk off if they don't give them a monopoly on the diamonds. Now check this case out. This is the actual case. It's 1991 in my courtroom. There are 4 dudes on trial. Stone cold killers. There were 7 men who struck diamonds in a national park down here in Arkansas. They had a mining permit and they were going to mine the diamonds. Well, Oppenheimer de Beers gave them an offer they couldn't refuse, which was cut rate. They said, hell no. So they sent the 4 hitmen over from South Africa. They killed 4 of them outright. They shot the 5th one 3 or 4 times. And some cops just happened to be next door on a domestic violence call. They rushed in. 4 hitmen just dropped the guns on the floor. 3-4 weeks of trial, we were hearing about how diamonds are just carbon. Carbon is one of the most common things on earth. Diamonds have no real value other than the fact that Oppenheimer de Beers has a monopoly on them, and 99.999 etc. percentage of all diamonds that have been mined are in Oppenheimer de Beers' vaults. So to keep the price up, they enforce this monopoly. So anyway, they said, for example, $1 million diamond would actually have a value of about $8,000, and most of that would be due to the art of cutting it and polishing. So anyway, check this out. We got a lockup jury. Saturday afternoon, I called for a break. We're going to reconvene at 10 o'clock Monday morning. 10 o'clock Monday morning, we can't reconvene. You know why? State Department came over, took the 4 defendants out of jail, granted them diplomatic immunity, put them on a Navy plane, and flew them over to Europe, and then from Europe to South Africa. Cold-blooded murder, caught red-handed. 4 American citizens wounded and another one half paralyzed. And we can't do shit about it because diplomatic immunity. This was under George Herbert Walker Bush. And he's the one that ordered them returned, and his Secretary of State. See how foul that stuff gets? Now, that's a reality people don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But see, these young brothers were trying to deal with that already got life threats. But there was some down young men. And I found it funny. Remember that thing with Arsenio Hall and what's his name?
Farrakhan?
No. Remember the movie Coming to America?
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that's his name. That one. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was for real. They invited me over. One of the press invited me over to come pay a visit. I said, man, that's a nice hotel. He said, that is not the hotel. That is my summer palace. I said, damn, dude. So we went around in this stretch Rolls limousine that had flown over here, shipped over here. And the Secret Service is escorting them around. So we go downtown to one of these big, huge LA hotels. And they fuck with everybody. He says, oh, this is so impressive. This is a very nice anteroom to your toilets. But there's a main ballroom in the lobby. Oh, this is not for your toilets? This is all you have for the lobby of the hotel? Oh, quaint. And I'm impressed with your economies, And I'm like to laugh my ass off because, see, they could talk like that, but it said, man, and they surprised me. Man, when we gonna get out and party, man? Damn. I said, oh, you can talk like that too. Yeah. I said, damn. Dude spoke 6 or 7 languages. Told me something too I already knew. Swahili. Remember, everybody back in the 60s were trying to learn Swahili.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you don't want to learn that language. I said, why? He said, it is a slave language. He said, it is new. It's not old. He said, we are Bantu. So what the Dutch did and the Arabs did to foster the slave trade is they took a pidgin language they made using Arabic and Dutch with a few Bantu words so they could run the slave and ivory trade all the way up into the 20th century. He said, if you want to learn an African language, just learn Bantu. He said, don't learn the corrupt language that the Europeans and the Arabs put on you. I said, damn, ain't that something?
Learn something
that
new every
came
day.
from the horse's mouth, from his royal highness.
That's Swahili is the main language of, it's the language in Kenya that a lot of folks speak.
But it's not the Kenyan language.
Yeah.
Understand, the slave trade and ivory trade terminus up until the 20th, into the 20th century, came out of Kenya and wound up in Madagascar. They would have the slaves that they were still selling up into the 1900s, marching with ivory across their shoulders while tied together until they got to the port. So they spoke Swahili so everybody would understand what was going on. See, most people don't know that. I don't want to dampen anything, but if you want an ancestral language, most of us would be closer to home if we learned to speak Yoruba.
Yoruba, yeah. That's
it's funny.
That's West African language.
Yeah, and most of us came from West Africa. It's kind of funny. They don't have conjugations. They have tonal inflections. One of the ones that I always thought was fascinating because my Yoruba teacher was a girlfriend of mine. You know, I messed around and we had to get a year's worth of foreign language credit
She was beautiful.
to graduate from UCLA. So she just said, baby, while we laid up, I'll teach you. So she had been over there. So, like, for example, I said, you know what? It struck me how this is familiar. She said, oh, you picked that up, did you? I said, yeah, like Oko. Oko, a car, that means basically father. So our favorite term is motherfucker. Motherfucker, look at that shit. That's a bad motherfucker. Motherfucker, I will kick your ass. See, it's tonal inflection. So the word for father literally means he who fucks the mothers. So if you say it in one term, it's like high chief who fucks all the mamas. It's daddy who fucks your mama. Or it's fuck you, motherfucker, you know, is an insult, depending upon how you totally inflect. So you got to be careful what your inflection is, because you may be giving the dude a compliment or a high insult, you know. It's spelled in English O-K-O. It's an interesting word, but I just said, yeah. She said, now you got it. And then I'm going, baby, roll over. You know, I need me some more. That turned me off. Damn. Now, I have to admit, I was cheating like a motherfucker. She said, don't, while I'm in the bathroom freshening up, don't go turn the page so you can see what's going to be on the test. I said, no, baby, I won't. You know, if we're going to do it doggy style, don't pick that book up that's on the pillow and it has the exam questions in it. Yeah, baby, I sure won't. You know, but that's years ago. I confess I didn't figure I'd have too much use to go over there. Though I did have a Nigerian roommate, name was Fasa, and he became deputy minister of energy for Nigeria, which is, by the way, the largest oil producing country in OPEC. It's not Saudi Arabia, it's Nigeria. Of course, him being what he is, I hope they haven't put brother on a wall and shot him in the meantime. I wouldn't be surprised. But he was another one of those, man. We used to hang out. So, man, this is LAPD, man. This is Gestapo, man. You got to speak that African shit, man. Don't be coming across. Oh, man, Joe, how come, man? Don't be calling me, hey, man, Joe, be speaking that. Yes, I am from Africa, and I do understand your cultural parameters. Talk that shit, man. So, you know, these bad news folk. But that was LAPD back in the 60s, man. You know, it was kind of bad. LA, interesting little war story. I went off to Tennessee after I'd gotten out of law school and done this intern thing. And I came back, man. I'm riding with some of my homies, man, down through the hood. So what's wrong with the place? I said, something's wrong, man. So what's wrong with it, Joe? I said, something's wrong here. Then I said, man, they cut down all the damn trees. I said, yeah, that's so the helicopters could fly at treetop level and be checking you out when you walk out your front door, so they ain't got to worry about a helicopter. Man, I said, that's what it is, man. I remember in law school, I walked outside of my apartment one evening. Blink, boom, 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 boom. Loudspeaker. Freeze. Do not move suddenly. This is a police unit. A ground unit will arrive shortly. Have your identification in your right hand. Make no sudden movements or we will treat it as a furtive movement. Everybody then knew what the fatal furtive is, man. What happened, man? Oh, man, he made the fatal furtive, man. He moved too quick, man. And they shot him 23 times, man. That's when they had 6-shot revolvers, you know, and ain't but 3 of them. Oh, damn.
Damn.
23 what happened? Really, that happened. See, I mean, it was brutal. It's like Richard Pryor made jokes. Like one time he was out, LAPD said, All right, on the wall. And the joke was, what wall? He said, find one. They ain't lying, man. There are a whole lot of embarrassing moments going out to a, a ball, man, you know, or a formal function, or just out nice evening. It's raining. Hardly ever rains in LA. On a night it's raining, they got you spread eagled on the ground with your date with a fine little micro mini on, light colored dress, down in the middle of the rain, man, getting jacked around. All right, you can go. One time, 75. I came back for a little vacation, and a guy I knew flew out there with me, and I was telling him about LAPD. He thought out of line. So me and some homeboys, we're driving down Broadway, man. We got up around 89th Street, and me and the driver said, man, you see what I'm saying? I said, man, stop the car, man. Park. So we parked. Let's get out. Dude said, well, why you doing? I said, man, look at the goddamn street sign. He said, shit, what they got brown paper taped around them? I said, man, LAPD. So we looked back, and for 3 blocks preceding, they had brown paper taped over the street signs. So I said, let's walk around the corner. That's a dead end up there. So we walked down, cul-de-sac, man. LAPD was out there flagging down everybody who went 2 blocks further than we were down this dead end street. It was raining, and they had police mechanics putting everybody's car up on blocks, taking the wheels off. They had these tire removing tools, you know, so they took the tires off. So there you are with your tires removed from your rims. They took your front seat, back seat out, front contents out, opened up your hood, took off your valve covers, fan belts, and water hoses, and left your ass up there high and dry in the rain.
Why?
Just to mess with you. And the squad cars had brown paper taped over the squad car numbers, over the license plates, and the cops didn't have on name tags, and tape over their badge numbers. That's how they used to roll, man. That's the real live Gestapo. I listen to folk talk about police brutality, man. I said, man, you ain't got half a clue. LAPD was so bad, man. This is true story. They put it in a movie, but these suckers went to LA's City Hall, to the 28th floor where the DA, the elected DA, had an office. They kicked his ass, kicked the window out, and hung this dude by his ankles from the 28th floor. And this is the elected DA. There was some badass police.
How bad was
this shit
NYC?
Goes on now, man. It ain't real.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, LAPD, Chicago PD, but Chicago PD, you always used to be able to get out with that. Fine girl I was dating up in Chicago, early 70s. Her daddy was a Chicago cop. He was a sergeant. So we out riding, man. He said, let's go back home. I said, what's wrong? He said, you got a pistol, boy? I said, yeah, I got one in my glove. It's illegal, but get your pistol. We gonna need to be armed where we going. Anything happen, you give it to me. So we ride down the street. We get pulled over, and he said, now, I'm a cop, but I tell you what you do. Here, take this 20. Fold this 20 around your driver's license, and you hand it to the man. So I did. You know, this motherfucker told us where a good party was and let us go, no ticket. You know, I'm going, damn, man, that's some cold-blooded shit. LAPD, you try to bribe one of them, they shoot you. True incident. I was in law school, and for a lab thing, we were helping out some folk do some criminal investigation. So this lawyer, who was a professor, asked me and 3 or 4 other guys to help him investigate this criminal case he was doing pro bono. So we're out in the Venice area. So we're talking to me and another guy. We're talking to 4 witnesses. So we're out on the front porch. Well, one of their neighbors drives up in a brand new Oldsmobile Cutlass. brand new, just got it off the dealer floor. He parks it. About 10 minutes later, after he's bragging, we get to asking him about the case. Some drunk comes down the street, sideswipes 5 cars, including his brand new Cutlass, and then rams into a phone pole, wrecks his car, gets out drunk, and collapses across the hood of his wrecked car. So they call the police. Half hour, nobody shows up. Hour, nobody shows up. 5 or 6 people go to their houses to call because a lot of people have damaged cars, all right? Finally, 2 cops come out. They don't want to have anything to do with it. People called again, so this sergeant comes out. He said, look, we have better things to do. He said, well, man, look at that dude. He's drunk, man. He passed out across his hood. So what? Your problem. Hope you got an insurance. Where you get the money to get that car? Dude said, man, I got a job. I work for North American. He said, well, good for you. I hope you get some more money to buy you another car. He said, man, that ain't right. He said, oh, man, you want something to worry about? I'll give your ass something to worry about. He pulled out his Model 15 Smith 38 Special Combat Masterpiece, put it up against this guy's left shoulder and shot him. Bam! So now you got something to complain about. Come on, guys. And he and the 2 cops drove off. We had to take the dude to the emergency room. So we go down there with the law professor, and they got this book with all of the photo spreads of the cops so you can identify them. And they got 3 damn vacant places in this book where you see the these mystery cops who are responsible. No. But where the pictures that went in there? What spaces? We don't see any. The one's right there and there. And this professor's going at it. And we say, yeah, man, you know, like, hey, what time is this? So, I mean, that's how they used to roll. Now, that ain't nothing compared to this shit they looking at right now.
Yeah.
And that's some real live police brutality. And then the Panthers, man, and the BSU folk we went on patrol. And some shots got fired. I ain't gonna lie, you know, but they got the feeling leery about, see, this was on the periphery. This wasn't in South Central. See, after that rising in 1965, uprising, we didn't call it a riot. This is interesting. There were only 2 black-on-black homicides in the following 18 months in all of L.A. One of them was a girlfriend shot her boyfriend to death, and the other one's wife shot her husband to death for messing around. There were no burglaries, no robberies, no rapes, no break-ins, no nothing, no assaults. It was all peaceful. My first pretty-ass girlfriend lived about 3 blocks away from where it started, about 121st Street, all right? So we were already over there, you know, it was going on. Shit scared the hell out of me. One time, man, when they called in the National Guard, I was working for a place. It was a Project Head Start, so they gave us a pass to deliver food. So I forgot that I borrowed my old, one of the cars my old man had, and the last I'd used it, I'd been getting ready to cut my old folks' yard, right? So I had a full can of gas in the trunk, and I had collected all of these Coca-Cola bottles to take back for a deposit, and I got all these towels, and I get pulled up at this roadblock by the National Guard, and they got a Jeep with a 30 cal M7 1917 Browning on a pedestal mount with a live belt in there, talking about open your car up. I said, man, I better think fast, because it just dawned on me. I got 2.5 gallons of gas, about 50 Coke bottles, whole bunch of towels, and they gonna swear up and down I was gonna make Molotov cocktails. So I went and fished and got this pass. I said, oh yeah, damn, this colonel signed it. I said, okay, so I flashed it to him. He looked at me, looked at the thing, looked at me, looked at the thing, and said, go on. And this dude had that 30 cal pointed dead at my ass. I said, damn. See, some interesting shit. Makes a good tale now, 50-something years later, but 55 years later, but it wasn't funny then, you know. I tell folk, you know, sometimes stuff that's stressful now becomes a good story when you're drinking beer later in life. You
Yeah.
know,
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm. So, hey, Judge, what you think about um, Trump's recovery? I see he rebounded from his treatment and he's back on the road. What you think about his health and how he's
well, you know, it affects some people a lot less than others. See, the rumor is it's all hitting the old folk. Yeah, it
Mhm,
does. But if you're in pretty good health, it doesn't bother you. Shit happens. You can catch it again. They've documented a few cases where people have come down with it the second time. It's worse.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing is there's a thing called cytokine storm. Cytocline storm. And what that is when you take a young, very healthy individual with a great immune system, what happens is his immune system reacts to the virus, and it reacts so vigorously that it starts destroying his own organs and it kills him because he's too healthy. I'm predicting that November is going to be really bad because you're going to get a number of kids who are asymptomatic, who have been infected and can transmit the disease without showing any symptoms. And they're going to start spreading it to the parents. And this stuff seems to do better when there's no cold. Now, I'm not a PhD, but I did study this stuff 50
mhm,
years ago. And what is impacting folk is known technically as SARS-CoV-2. It is a
mhm,
beta coronal virus, and everybody on this panel has been infected by a beta coronal virus. The four of them that impact us frequently are known collectively as the common cold. And what is there a vaccine to prevent you catching a cold? No. Is
nope,
there a cure for the common cold? No.
nope.
This is just like uh, the virus fell into some bat shit and woke up with superpowers the next morning. You know, it got goddamn S on his chest, flying around
Mm-hmm.
with a cape up in your ass, acting like Alien on that horror movie space thing where they gotta invade your body so they can replicate. You know, I mean, you know, you take your chances. If you think you can handle it, fine, but I can't stand common colds. I sure as hell would hate to get the badass version where it's got
Mm-hmm.
an S on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said earlier, biolabs make this shit. I don't think this is from a biolab, but even if it was, and you in the army, you wear a mask, you wear protective gear. So if you think somebody's trying to kill you, don't give them a good shot at taking your ass out.
Simple as that.
That's right. That's right. Well, we kept on for 2 hours. Who's going? I guess we might stop it. You know, someone just
Well,
said,
we can stop. I may be able to make a phone call and get my ass some nookie shit. You know,
Ah.
gee whiz, Chucky, let's go get some nookie. I'm getting to be an old man, but I tell him, I say, hey, young girl, before you get you a young trainee, you better think about me because there's always good vitamin V, you know. And I ain't as good as I used to be, but most of the goddamn time I'm better than I ever was. Oh shit, at least I know what I'm
Vitamin B.
doing and can carry on some good
They said vitamin
conversation before and after. And I sure know some goddamn tricks, you know.
Hey,
Can't
Doug,
bust no nut like I used to, so we can ride for a long ass damn time, you know.
I did,
Hey, don't run. Come by and
hey,
have some fun. Shit, baby. I ain't gone nowhere. I'm still sitting in the chair. We can do it here too. You know, I'll come through for you. This is Judge Joe, you know, not on the go, baby. You know, touch me. Your senses deceive you not. I have come as promised and prophesied. Your
wow.
fondest dreams, hopes, and imaginings have come true and manifest in the flesh. You can still run that down, women the ones go through that menopause shit. And
Man.
if it don't work any other way, you know, it all costs you. You ain't got to go buy no hoe off the street. But even if you get married, it's expensive. At least you can manage the expense. You play sugar daddy for a goddamn while. Hell, I'm still interested. Damn, you get some fine ass tenderoni when you playing sugar daddy. But I usually make the cutoff line about 45, you know. Below that, get too silly. And by the way, grown women got something them young tender ones don't have. You know what it is? Goes like this. If you got tenderized one of them young ones, say after the evening's festivities, go, yeah, baby, you know, like I had a long, hard day. You know, I got an early day tomorrow. I left you a little something on the nightstand, but I got to go. Daddy, you going to call me? Yeah, baby, I'll call you in a few days. Sure, baby, you ain't going to forget. Oh, no, mama, I ain't going to forget you. I'll give you a call. But anyway, I'm on the go, you know. Now, you get one of them grown women, goes like this. Excuse me. Well, yeah, baby, I had a long, hard day. Got an early day tomorrow. Well, so did mama. Where you think you going? Well, I left you something on the nightstand. I ain't worried about what you left on the nightstand. I can take care of my damn self. Look, put that chain back on that goddamn door. Bring your ass back over here, and mama gonna get the flag flying at full mast. You thought you wanted you some pussy? You gonna get your ass some pussy tonight. You got some work to do. Bring your behind over here. Mama needs some relief. See, now that's what you get with them grown women.
Judge got to tear that ass up.
Sure, man. Sit down, baby. It's good, but goddamn. Like, damn. I don't have enough. No, you ain't. You got some more. I got some trick shit.
Yeah, that's the full woman. That's that woman for you right there.
Yeah.
Total difference.
They don't hit till they get about 45 now. 50, they get on. The deal is there's a balance between where they stop looking good and lose their health. And that depends upon the woman. Could be 45, could be 70, you know. So the older you get, the bigger your selection is.
Yeah.
See, when you're 19, 20, you got limited selection.
That's
you
true.
get 70 something, you got everything from 75 all the way down to 35, which is as young as you can stand, because the rest of that shit's too foolish. Make you feel strange because it looks like one of your granddaughters or something.
Oh.
Your daughter, like, baby, no, you a little too young for me. I don't play that pedophile shit.
Right.
What? You too damn young. You look like my children. Shit, you know, damn.
Take you out the mood.
45 to 48, that's a sweet spot.
Yeah, look, 45 to about 60 something. And let me tell you why. They have the means and the wherewithal, and they go to a gym regularly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they got nice, shapely legs.
Yeah.
They got six packs, you know, they got firm tits, and if they sag, they got the money to go get a boob job.
Yeah.
Lipo, so that ass still tight. They get that face together. They know how to do their makeup. They're fine to begin with, and ain't got 5-inch long fingernails with a $400 nail job on them. They can buy some clothes, see. And they got the hair up right. They ain't got 15 pounds of weave off in their head, because they ain't washed it in 2 weeks.
You know,
they know how to wash pussy, and they know how to deal with life, and they got tricks they can do.
Right. They the ones with the real wop. Them the ones with the real wop.
See, they've been practicing these tricks for 20, 25, 30 years.
Veterans.
That's like a martial artist, man. The young motherfucker, he don't know shit about martial arts. Them old gray-haired dudes. The master, you know, he know how to do these things. He got the moves. And the babes got the moves. They whip it on you, you know, like, and they be doing them kegels where they strengthen up those muscles so they clamp down on your ass. Sit there in the gym for an hour and a half working on stuff that strengthens them areas. They be, clamping, boy. Damn, baby.
You know, we call that in Philly. You know what we call that in Philly, Judge? We call that seasoned yams.
There you go.
Seasoned yams.
Got teeth in it. God damn.
Yes, sir.
That shit bit me. You know? But see, It's like red wine, man. You got to let that shit age before it hits its prime.
Absolutely.
Drink no wine before it's time. Get no nookie that's been playing hooky. You know, hey, get it out there where it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You know, trained and conditioned and in good shape.
Yeah.
But you know,
Teach his own.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Everybody's got their favorite taste, what turns them on. So
Yeah.
somewhere there's a balance between being able to afford what you want and being too old to really enjoy it, except to sit there and smile at it.
Yeah.
You know, like, baby, I just want a little bit of nookie, you know, not a whole great deal, you know, just a little portion, you know. It don't have to be a great deal.
Yeah. Well, appetizer.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, damn. I don't think we need to go there, but you know, hey, we were talking serious business. But you know, we can
We
laugh
got to go
off
there, Judge. We got to go there.
personal business matters, you know.
It's late hour
Personal
talking. Go ahead.
relationships.
Late
You
hour
see,
talking.
crazy bras like now don't know nothing to listen to little airbrush China dolls with a blue check on Twitter talking about, I had some blue jello and it quivered when I eat it, and get 126,000 likes. What the hell? You interested in eating goddamn blue jello? Trifling, heifer, hell. You ain't worth a goddamn anyway. I don't want no heifer sitting up there talking about jello. Sometimes women do a good thing for men. They have license to give you advisement. You don't have to listen to it, but you'd be wise if you did. And she'd be wise if she figured out how the hell to give it to you so you'd listen.
Right.
And see all that sapphire bullshit, hand on hip, waggling some head. You don't want that. What you want is somebody to say, baby, I didn't say anything earlier, but that wasn't too cool today. Well, baby, no, you're not getting any tonight. Tomorrow, maybe, but you know, not tonight. You know, you didn't do right. And see, that's another thing why daddies need to be in the home. See, a woman's raised around a daddy. Daddy, could I have $50? Me and Tamika, we going to the mall. Baby, I just gave you 22 days ago. Daddy, please, please, Daddy. All right, here's 50. No, hell, make it 100. Don't come back and bother me this weekend. Thank you, Daddy. Now, see, she knows how to deal with a man when she grows up. That woman ain't been raised with no man around. They put that hand on hip and get the waggling finger. Let me tell you what I'm gonna make your ass do. Like, baby, you done lost your mind. You ain't making me do shit. And it ain't that damn good. I told one chick one time, I said, look at what you talking about, all that good nookie. You act like you came 4 or 5 damn times. I didn't come but once, so you got more out of it than me, damn it. So don't be talking about what I'm gonna do for some trifling nookie, damn it. Put something else on the table.
Right. You get nookie anyway.
Yeah.
Got you fucked up, Judge. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll tell you something else, a little secret. Women make love just like their real personalities.
Yeah.
If they can drive, physically operate the car, they drive very consistently with the way they screw. Some women can't do nothing but screw because they have no passion. It's just something to alleviate the boredom. Hell, you can alleviate your own. Sometimes nothing like a good friendly screw, you know, to pass the time of day.
They ain't hurt nobody.
Then there are those who can deal with the passion and they can fuck.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have the passion to be able to fuck. What they call in a fuck is a mild screw. And then you got the ones that can fuck, screw, and make love. And when you tap into that, you feel like you're into the chain of existence from way back when to the future. Now, those are the ones you want. And here's another secret. If you ain't got nothing to say to the woman and she's got nothing to say to you, the screwing's going to be fucked up anyway. See, it's like, you ever seen these women that talk about, oh, I'm not photogenic. Well, what happens, see, is when you talk to somebody, 15% of what you're saying are the words, 35% of the tone, 50% is the body language. If you're not talking and you're screwing, it's 100% body language. And if the babe ain't got nothing to say, worth shit listening to, body language or otherwise, she ain't got nothing to say to you. So the sex is just gonna be convenient screw, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got something you can say with each other and communicate. That's cool.
That was well said, Judge. I definitely agree with that. Well said.
Yeah.
Oh, old time stuff, you know.
Yeah. So it's all different
Find it
kind of
out the
nookies out here.
hard way.
A lot of different nookies, like
Listen, it's all kind of different nookies out here. Once you find that nookie that's good for you, you're gonna be nookie-licious, and then it's on. I'm saying nookies
Now,
matter.
I tell you
That's what
what.
people gotta understand.
I tell you what. These big gals, I understand they have a right to be what they are. Somebody probably thinks they're beautiful because they got enough babies going on.
Yeah.
I always thought maybe it was you didn't have to worry about the pussy. You was dark, so you didn't have to look at it. You get the same effect if you stuck it in a fold or something, you know. But I mean, shit happens. But when she's 15 years old, she got a body problem like 60-year-old women who way out of shape getting ready to die of a heart attack, dude. You know, you're not supposed to body shame, but you know, damn.
Right.
Sometimes you want to, in a restaurant. Look, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Yeah. All right. Do I have the right department? Okay. You know, they've got this full contact thing down here, and enjoy your lunch while you have full contact. But one of your exhibits is running amok and somebody may be trampled. Can you send animal control out here to kind of, you know, handle this matter? Damn, you know.
That's
I
you ain't never
think that
lied. You ain't
beautiful
never
women are
lied.
beautiful women, but some of them, it's like, baby, I'm not being me, but you need to work on your personality. So somebody, when he's feeling tired and his eyes are closed, at least he can have something restful and peaceful, you know, that he's listening to. But you come up with all this drama queen shit, and you ain't no queen. Damn, come on, baby. But you see,
Yeah,
let
you
me
just
give you a secret.
drama.
Let me give you a secret. You should be admire them. They volunteered for a very arduous thing. It's very dangerous. See, there's a secret government program, and I used to get a lot of the components of this program in front of me doing that arbitration on TV. See, the aliens really did crash at Roswell back in '47. And when they deciphered the cockpit contents, they found out that the aliens were looking at humans as a food source. So they'll be back in 10 years their time, which would be about 75, 80 our time, you know, that Einstein's relativistic time dilation shit. So when they come back, see, we can tell them, look, we know you understand our language and we know you're coming back to eat us, but you don't have to eat us. We did you a favor. We bred some food people for you. They're well marbled with fat. They are nutritious. They even have 4 hams on them, one on each butt and one behind each arm on the top. And over there, you know, we call those trailer parks, but you can call them meals on wheels.
Right.
We like white meat, and it'd be
Right.
like something else, you know, like over there, we call that the projects, but you know, they got barbecues around there. You can do a little outdoors cooking on one of them. And you know, they got some off in the penitentiary. If you like lean bacon, you know, we show you a little room in the back with a wooden shed where you can strap one in, flip a switch, and get a quick hot snack. Damn, so these folk have sacrificed to protect humanity by becoming the food people to feed the damn aliens when they get back. I mean, it's really heroic. We ought to thank them. I mean, they deserve a medal or something, some recognition. You know? But maybe I'm thinking we don't need to do that because some of them may not know what they're doing. And they might run, oh my God. And if they run too hard, they lean up and defeat the purpose.
Lord have mercy. Man.
Maybe you need some fat meat to pop in with your veggies or something, you know, damn. I hate to be cold, but damn, you know.
Hey, it is what it is. Facts are facts.
All right, man. Well, we gotta do this again, man. We coming up on 2.5
Well, let me get the hell out of here before I
You know how-
embarrass myself, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't just diss us for the phone call. You must have got a text. Hey, baby.
Yeah, man, I'm
You
over here
finished
looking
with
at the
this?
text, baby.
You
Do
finished
you
with
want
these
me to
young
come by
boys?
tonight or not?
You finished with these young
I'm
boys?
doing
Yeah.
blog talk. So
Uh-huh.
baby, you want to
Yeah.
talk or do you want to do something else?
Hey, Jim.
I'm hitting,
Mike,
man. Damn.
he just
That's what
stopped.
got me into thinking about this shit.
Look,
What
he
you
looked.
need? I got a few more minutes. Go ahead. I won't.
Wait a minute. Hey, he looked. It's like, oh, I got to go now, guys.
Yeah. Get me off of this shit now. She just sent that text with that picture.
He said,
Yeah.
he don't try to play it off. He don't just try to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys, I'm gonna have to leave now. This is
Yeah, she sent that picture. She got the G-string on with the mask on. She
no,
role playing
Judge.
and all that shit.
flag,
Yeah.
flag on the play, Judge. Flag on the
Come
play.
get it, Judge. Come get me, Judge. Get off the phone with them boys and get in here. Yeah, now I gotta go.
You know what? I got more pussy growing up because fools were out there wanting to play basketball, and the women they were trying to hit on didn't want any hot, sweaty motherfucker coming up in there. They wanted to get laid. So I'm going, I ain't playing basketball. I played football at UCLA, and it ain't football season, but I'm here waiting.
I'll be right
Baby,
here.
can you come get me? Sure can.
What you say? You got a shower? You clean? I'm good, girl.
So we're ready to go. Let's rock.
There you go, man. Jim.
Well, we got 2 more. Well, I don't know how. We got a few more weeks of this little stupid election. I'm so uninterested in it anymore like that.
Burnt out.
Aren't you inspired to take your booties to the pole like that stupid video with that little bourgeois boule negress who had a BET show suddenly interested in black men going to vote, and as many negative opinions as she's put out about black men, you know, like really she's concerned? And see, one of the things I did in life 30, 35 years ago is I was on retainer to all these strip clubs. So I represented a whole lot of topless strippers, full naked strippers. And see, the interesting thing, they were lazy. They would not get up and come down to your office, so you had to go there. So I'm sitting in the room with all these naked heifers around talking to me about their cases. And here's the thing I learned. You take 100 strippers, get 100 strippers, 90 to 95 of them are lesbians. And they're giving all their money away to their girlfriends. 2 of them are bi and they got pimps and they giving their money to the pimps. You got 2 more that are bi and maybe 1 to 3 that are straight. 2 of them are junkies and only 1 of them putting their own money away. So they don't like men to begin with. And the attitudes they used to tell me is if this fool wants to pay good money to look at my cooch, I'll let him look all the hell he wants, rub it all up on his face to get the cash because I got something else to do with it, which is basically either buy drugs or give it to a girlfriend. Now, I set up a program for these women. I opened up an escrow account and I worked out something so the club could pay me directly and I'd put it in the escrow account. Well, when I started first giving out, you know, the monthly totals of what they had in the bank, one of these women went all off on me. I thought she was accusing me of thieving. But she said, you lying, what you trying to do? I said, what you talking about? I ain't taking your money. Taking your money? Why you put all that extra in there trying to get me to be your bitch? I said, what extra? That's just what she made. But you see, they were paying $29 to $49.95 a night for the motel. They had a girlfriend staying up in there, and most of the money was going to the friend girl. So in 60 days, these chicks would have $7,000, $8,000 in their account, and they get, where in the hell what you trying to pull off? That's your money, woman. I didn't make that much. I said, you always make that much. You got looking good. You go work out here near to the naval base in Millington. And on the 1st and the 15th, when these sailors get hot and get leave, and these folk work out in these factories, you can bring $3,000-$4,000 a weekend in, and you ain't reporting this shit to IRS. Damn, you got a lot of money. No, I don't. It's the way if you can give it away to your girlfriend, shit. Get yourself an apartment, buy yourself a house, buy a car. See, that was just the way that they needed to learn to look at what was going on in their lives, but they didn't get it. So those are the same people that are supposed to be concerned about black men going to vote. They gonna give us some bare ass on the poll, and then at least a quarter of those bare asses were trannies. There were some drag queens flashing bare ass, big Adam's apple, big old hands, and dick tucked down in the front of a G-string, like, yeah, okay. So if you heard this interview I did to that woman, I said, I think it's very admirable of you to try to turn this vote out. You went to these gay strip clubs, you got the trannies, so you're trying to appeal to the gay guys who go to the gay strip clubs to watch the trannies. That's very admirable of you to turn these folk out to go vote. Now, what they were doing that I peeped is this woman put up a credit card along with her partner. BLM allegedly fronted off most of the money, but they put up a card. So that meant they loaned the enterprise some money for which they should be paid back. Allegedly, what happens is they have a crowdfunding thing. And when they get the money in and pay their credit card advances, IRS will say they can legally pocket all the rest of the money so long as they declare it for tax purposes. So this ain't nothing but allegedly nothing but a hustle.
Oh, man. Yeah, we all. Jeez. Yeah.
We used to call it pimping the revolution or pimping the movement.
Damn. Well, I guess we can wrap it up there. It's late. It's late for some people. I mean, I can go for days, but
it's 10:30 where I am. 10:29 anyway.
Oh, you're in Tennessee?
Yes.
Nice. All right.
All right, we can do this over again. We've been on for 2.5 hours. So.
Judge, where are you right now? Where are you
I'm
right now?
in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
Shout out to
Memphis, Tennessee, right down by the holy waters of the Mississippi River.
Central Standard Time. I'm down here in San Antonio. Okay, good.
Texas.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why
Texas was not a place that black folks traveled through in daylight. You did it at night.
Bells looking at you,
because you get busted by them Texas Ranger type boys, and they say, "All right, get out the car right now."
Hey,
they ain't got no rodents up in here. Boy, don't trifle with me. I say, get out the car right now.
Right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Not right there. Not right now. Right now.
Right.
Right now.
Right now.
Motherfucker with a tail now.
Right now.
Yeah.
All right, Judge. We'll connect again. Do this again, man. Definitely.
All right, man. Let's do it. I'm out of here then. It's 10:30 on the nose.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You got
the
rendezvous, Judge. You got a rendezvous. We don't want to hold you back.
Yeah. You got them. Judge got them yams waiting on him. Go get them yams, Judge.
Get some yams.
Right in the oven.
Hey, don't turn away now, Judge.
I'm not turning away. I'm sitting here while you've been talking. I've been writing the text talking about maybe it won't be long.
Brilliant.
All right. So good.
All right, let me get out of here.
All right, Judge.
All right,
all right.
Man, that was
Whoa.
Crazy. Yeah.
Whoa.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm sitting here.
Off the fucking hook.
How they doing it?
Still alive, just so everybody know. But
I'm tapping out.
I tapped out too. Bro.
That's crazy.
So, I'm gonna cut the beginning of the show and then I'm gonna cut it into clips and repost. Man, I'm tired of this. Man. Yeah, I can't do it. I don't even know what to say.
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
hey,
That's what
you're the second person that did that today. The old Russell Simmons joke.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Situations like that, when you don't know what the fuck to say and it's time to go. Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
God bless you. Good night.
All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and end that live, man. We'll see y'all soon. Yeah, I mean.